last Karen brought up different machines and what they can do and different hand cranks. And I have been trying to downsize at the same time as being able to do everything and being able to do everything with a disability, possibly foot pedals being a problem or treadles. I think I have finally come up with a combination of 3 machines that I can use to paint and thread. And if people have been following my art for at least a year or probably 3 years, I've been trying to move all of my artistic things to fabric instead of using toxic paints and all of that. It's part of the whole life is fragile working in chalk thing. But thread is more comforting than chalk or a chalkboard. Anyway, the 1591, either as a hand crank with the Bishop hand crank or an electric to do the cross-hatching backgrounds, as you see on the dog there. So that would be like the first little station for any piece. It goes to the 1591 and gets the background put in. I think it was Vincent van Gogh that used to say that if you can paint backgrounds, you can do anything. Then the machine would be the 66, it'll be a 3 if I have a regular Singer hand crank on it. The 66-3 would do this type of hand crank embroidery with either the long and short stitch or like this V stitch I seem to be coming up with. And then the third stage would be my 9913, which has the option of a kneebar or a hand crank. And the kneebar is another like disability plus. But either way, what that machine would then be doing is doing outlines if I decided to outline a piece. So 3 machines, a 1591 with an optional Bishop hand crank, a 66-1, they're really treadle heads usually, but then when you put a hand crank on them, it's a 66-3 for the actual embroidery. You might want to look for one with a side clamper so you can use like a stop X or an inexpensive low shank darning foot. And mine's a back clamper. And then a 99, either a kneebar, a foot pedal, or in my case, I have a Singer hand crank for that one, and I might convert it. But the other option is to put a Bishop hand crank on a 99 and use either the kneebar or the hand crank. So essentially 3 hand crank machines with the 1591 having the option of power and the 9913 having the option of power with a kneebar. So, and then from the disability aspect, you have a foot pedal possibility, a kneebar possibility, and a hand crank on all 3. So those are going to be my 3 machines. They will all 3 fit on my kitchen table. So I knew this like 10 years ago. I'm going to have to drag around my heavy oak kitchen table everywhere. But it's a wonderful table, and I do have cabinets for the 1591 and the 99. So I could set those up as like larger workstations and keep the 66 on the table. So thank you, Karen, because you got me thinking and making some decisions about what machines I really need. Now, all of this is basically how am I going to paint with thread. But the Red Cross quilt can be done in the same way. It means I'll be doing like 16-inch squares and probably rag-style quilts, which is fine. It's fine. So there's a concise little 3 by 4 feet sewing table with 3 machines that will do quilts, clothing, and embroidery, and all disability accessible.